Welcome to this week's TDD Weekly Report for the week ending February 5th. This is Super Bowl weekend, so I want to thank the 2 or 3 viewers that do bother to stop by and watch my TDD Weekly Report. As for the rest of you, I don't blame you, because in about 8 or 9 hours I'm going to be parked in front of the TV set watching the Super Bowl this year. I'm particularly interested in it this year because 2 of my favorite teams made the playoffs. My Chicago team, since I live in Chicago, the Bears made the playoffs. Unfortunately, when they played the Green Bay Packers, who are in the Super Bowl, they brought their B- game to the playoff game, and that's not good when the other team brings their A+ game. So Bears didn't make it, but gave it a good shot. My Kansas City Chiefs, my home team, they made it in the playoffs for 1 game, but you know, they did pretty decent too. It's always good to see your teams make the playoffs. So I don't know, among the teams that are playing, who do you think's actually going to make it this time for the playoffs? You think it's going to be or who's going to make the Super Bowl champs? It's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Green Bay Packers? I'm kind of rooting for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but on the other hand, Green Bay is sure looking like New Orleans did last year, like it's a team of destiny or something like that, like everything is just stacked in their favor. So it's going to be a hard call, but if you get a chance and it hasn't already been played, leave a comment, tell me who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. I'll pick the Green Bay Packers by a touchdown. So anyway, this is going to be kind of an informal TDD report this week. I got an envelope from a friend of mine, Almighty Vlog. His name is Brian. He's helped me out by doing movie reviews for the TDD report in the past. He sent a poster. He had a poster he was talking about in one of his videos, a Thor poster. If I can get it open here. Let's see, we'll just do it the easy way. And so he put it up there and said if anybody was interested in it. And I said, sure, I'm interested. I'll use it maybe as a background on one of my TDD reports. So he sent me the poster. So I've already got a look at it in the video. And here it is right here. I asked him to autograph it too, and I noticed he did. He put OMV on it there. So we'll take a look at it here. Now that looks pretty nice. I think what I'm going to do for the month of February is I'm going to put this up on the wall. I'm going to use this as my background. I hope you can get a good view of this and it's not reflecting too much. But this is a Thor poster. Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Avengers, Marvel. So, thank you very much, Brian, for sending this. And this will be my background for February. If anybody else is interested, if you want to send me a poster, just make it PG-13 at least, I ask. And maybe for the next month, if people send enough stuff, maybe for the next month in March, I'll use another poster if somebody cares to send something. And I see he's got something else in the envelope he sent here. Yeah, here's a picture as I drop the envelope on the ground in my pocket knife. Here's a picture of what Almighty Vlog looks like. Some of you that have been following the TDD Weekly Report, here, I'll put it closer, probably recall him doing the movie reviews and everything. This picture of him with the poster, and here's another postcard of some kind. It says, hi Chuck, here is a picture of my front yard in upstate New York. If you sell this poster on eBay, I must insist on a 20% cut. Brian, Almighty Vlog. Somehow his house looks a little bit smaller though when he does his vlogs in the backyard. It looks a little bit smaller than this. So anyway, I'll pick up my stuff here. Just one subject I wanted to ask about, if anybody cares to comment about it. I've been reading a lot about trips to Mars and different plans on how to get people to Mars as far as the space program goes. And lately they've been talking about doing it as a one-way trip. In other words, asking people that don't really have any family attachments in their early to mid-50s to actually go on a one-way trip to Mars. And I just wondered if any of you, if you thought about that too. If you were in your 50s and you were single and maybe all your kids were grown or you never had kids or anything like that, would you actually consider going on a one-way trip to Mars with a group of people? I'd say they're probably talking about something like maybe 15, 30 people. And the reason why they're doing it this way is both to cut the expense in half with only having to send somebody in and not bring them back, but also the fact that if you're in your early to mid-50s, you would not quite have the cancer risk of younger people, because on the trip to Mars, which may take anywhere from 6 months to a year and a half to get there, you're going to be exposed to great amounts of radiation, which 30 years down the road can cause cancer problems. Well, if you're in your mid-50s, chances are that's going to be about your lifespan. Is going to happen at the same time the cancer risk really is significant. So this is something they probably don't want younger people to do unless they can find some way to engineer around the problem about the radiation and stuff like that. The camera gets bumped here, it's because one of my cats, no, don't play with the camera, is playing with the camera. But anyway, I just wanted your thoughts on that too. Would any of you actually be willing to go on a one-way trip to Mars? And then that way the only expense would be just sending some resupply ships, maybe every 6 months at first, and then maybe every year later on, just to send enough supplies until the colony itself became self-sufficient. So anyway, like I said, in a few more hours I'll be joining some friends for a nice Super Bowl party. Take care, everybody, and I will catch you next week.